Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I am your host Sean McGahee, and this is the show where we talk about comic book, movies, sci-fi, fantasy, TV. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. Joining me today on this lovely Tuesday afternoon is the ever so delightful Miss Lisa Locke McGahee.
Hello.
Hello Lisa, thank you for joining us today.
Backup plan here like always. When called upon.
Yes, Josh once again canceled on me as well. He said he had something important he had to do. I don't know what it is. Go save the city or, get a kitten out of a tree. Whatever he does whenever he flakes on me. But luckily, you're my number two. Just, there to help out.
Number two, right? Did everyone hear that? That was live. Number two.
Well, I was going to go with, Spectre 2, if that's fine. Use a Star Wars Rebels reference, maybe?
Whatever.
Right? I'm Spectre 1, you're Spectre 2. Your mom would be Spectre 3. Marcy here, little doggy, would be Spectre 4. And then Nora, Spectre 5, right?
All right, sure.
Okay.
On with it.
On with the show, yes. I ramble. So, I had a couple of things that Josh and I were going to talk about. I try to tailor the show depending on who my guest is, because you and Josh both have different expertise. So one thing we're not really going to get into right now is the Game of Thrones Season 6 trailer that came out last week. It came out just a few hours after last week's show, but Lisa here doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
Absolutely not.
Yes, anytime I have it on, she actually walks out of the room like with her eyes covered almost because she can't stand the bloody mess that is Game of Thrones.
It's not the bloody mess. I can handle blood.
It's the drama.
It's the killing of children. Every time I walk in the room, they kill a kid. I'm telling you, I can't handle it. Killing pregnant people, I can't watch that stuff. You know how I am.
Oh God, yes, the Red Wedding. That was a great episode.
I can't watch that stuff.
All right. Anyway, so I just want to briefly talk about it. Super excited. Love the trailer. Can't wait for it to come back next month. I hope Jon Snow is not dead, but if he is, I'm on two sides of it. One, I want him to come back because he's my favorite character. On the other side, I want him to stay dead because every other character in this show has stayed dead. And then, of course, there's another trailer that just popped up that I just watched right before we rewatched the Captain America Civil War trailer. Was the new Daredevil trailer, and I am totally psyched for that. That comes out on Friday. Season 2 Daredevil on Netflix. Super excited. This new trailer kind of more highlighted the evil organization known as The Hand, which looks like it'll be up front and center in Season 2, along with The Punisher and Elektra. Super excited. That comes out on Friday. That's going to be my hangover entertainment after I'm sure will be a exciting St. Patrick's Day on Thursday. Just so you know, just to make everyone aware, 7-Eleven on Friday is also having a Bring Your Own Cup Slurpee Day. So I'm going to go on Friday with the biggest cup I can find at 7-Eleven, fill up with Slurpee, and then come back and watch Daredevil Season 2. Friday's going to be awesome. So, okay, so getting on to it, let's get to the main event, and then we'll sprinkle in a couple other things along the way, because I think we're going to spend most of the time talking about the Captain America Civil War trailer. Lisa and I just both rewatched it again. I think it's probably like my 10th or 12th time watching it. Lisa, how many times have you seen it? Like 2 or 3 now?
I think 3 or 4.
3 or 4? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we both have a good handle on it. And I've got notes about it as well. So, overall, first impressions, what do you think of it?
I think it looks awesome. I think, we've talked a lot about, Batman v Superman and Captain America Civil War both, coming out this summer and how people's excitement are. And I feel like, for me, every time I see a Batman v Superman trailer, I'm less excited. And every time I see a Captain America Civil War trailer, I get more excited. So I definitely feel like the Civil War trailers are doing what they need to do. They're making the stakes. Like every trailer, I feel like it makes the stakes feel more real,
more serious. It's not just like friends like slapping hands or something. They're really gonna like
it really makes you realize this is a big deal.
Yeah, you get that, especially in this trailer. You have that shot of Tony looks totally pissed off and just like smacks Captain America to the ground, like he's really pissed off.
Yeah, the trailers, I think that the trailers for this one are definitely getting better and better. And the trailer definitely gets me more excited.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we already got our tickets, of course.
Yes.
Tickets came out the same day as the trailer. So totally excited for that. So we're going to be there that Thursday, May 4th, I believe. We're going to go see it. It'll be a little bit of a late showing. but I think it'll be worth it. We'll just have to make sure we load up on caffeine before we go, because someone usually falls asleep.
I don't usually fall asleep. That's not true. That's a lie. It's not fair when I have to go after I've worked all day. I have to get up at 4:25.
I totally. That's why I asked you if you wanted to go, and you were like, "Hell yeah, I want to go."
Well, is that how I sound?
You exactly sound like that.
Yes, I do want to go. I will not fall asleep.
Okay. All right. So overall, you liked it. What's kind of some of the highlights for you before I get into my highlights?
Well, I mean, I really like. I know that this is the same highlight you have. Is that bit when like Cap and Tony are fighting and Cap's like, I could do this all day.
Oh, that's
like,
my favorite part of the whole trailer.
That line is pretty awesome.
That's my favorite part of the whole trailer.
But yeah, I like that bit. I liked the part with Scarlet Witch and Vision. Like, I know it just kind of flashed by, but it looked pretty badass.
There's some of my highlights if you want to take a look or anything.
Oh, I feel like these are mostly the bits I had. Yeah, the Ant-Man with I think the little sprinkle of Ant-Man in there was pretty cool. But, you know, one of the things about this trailer that I find, you know, I mean, I totally understand. I get that this is different than the comic Civil War.
Yes.
Like, I never read the comic.
I just reread it the other day as well after I saw the trailer. I was excited. And I really want you to read the comic before you watch it. We got it on, it's on the Kindle.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Go through it on Kindle.
So, what I don't exactly understand about this is, like, in the movie, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, the government is trying to have more oversight into what
the Avengers do.
What they do.
Yes.
So the bit that I don't understand is at the very beginning when, what's his face? The general guy.
General Thunderbolt Ross.
When General Ross is showing them the clips of the things. Like, I understand.
I know where you're going with this, I think.
Yeah, like, I understand that, like, sure, the Ultron project was the Avengers' fault.
Was Tony's fault,
Tony's fault. And so Tony started that. So the whole thing that happened in Sokovia was a direct result of the Avengers doing something stupid. Uh-huh. Well, Tony doing something stupid. So I get why Tony is siding with them. Because I think he just feels a lot of responsibility, personally, for what happened because of the Ultron project.
Okay.
However, the bit at the beginning, like the first instance, New York, when the aliens came and the Avengers saved...
It wasn't their fault.
It wasn't their fault. Like,
neither was DC.
Neither was DC. Those things were not their fault.
If anything...
So all that would happen if there's government oversight is it would delay them getting there and fixing it. Because they would have to wait for the government to be like, yeah, I think the committee's going to have to decide if you guys are intervening here and who should go and who should do this. That all it's going to do is cause a delay. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And, you know, I can go ahead and argue with the fact that the whole Captain America Winter Soldier DC thing, that was the government that was the problem.
It totally was. It was because that was Hydra.
Hydra.
Exactly.
Disguised as S.H.I.E.L.D.
Disguised as S.H.I.E.L.D. So it doesn't make any... The concept as it is doesn't really make sense to me. The only bit that does make sense is why Tony is siding with the government. But why the government feels like they need to take this position, I'm kind of curious as to how the movie is really going to get me on board with that. Or maybe they're not trying to, because maybe they want us to side with Cap, because I feel like everyone does anyway. So
they said they're supposed to be pretty one-sided. And like I said, I went back and I reread the graphic novel a couple days ago, and I do totally still see both sides. I mean, there are pros and cons to, you know, being regulated and not being regulated. It's just weird with, as far as Tony's perspective, there's a story I just read with Robert Downey Jr., which I was going to get into next week's show, where Robert Downey Jr. feels like he's not going to do a fourth Iron Man film because he feels like this is his fourth Iron Man film because he has such a dominant role in this, and it's a big pivotal point for his character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right. And there was an interview, I believe it was with the Russos, or maybe it was with Robert Downey Jr. himself, talking about how in the first Iron Man, and even the second Iron Man, going forward, he was such a rogue character. You know, he was the bad boy, so to speak. But now, as the movies have gone on, Tony has realized that his actions have consequences.
Well, I think that's a larger Ultron. Ultron did that. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that was kind of the final straw that was like, okay, maybe myself and my friends maybe do need a little, you know, babysitting or looked after.
That still doesn't make any sense, though, because I mean, I guess it kind of does, except only for him. He's going to be more cautious now anyway because he sees directly resulting what his actions caused. He knows that was his fault. He's taking responsibility for that.
Look at, you know, Bruce Banner the Hulk. You know, we need to look after the Hulk, otherwise he's gonna, destroy some crap.
The Avengers already look after the Hulk.
Well, obviously, but remember that fight in Age of Ultron when the Hulk got cut loose?
Yeah.
And Iron Man had to get the Hulkbuster armor, and they had that huge fight, and probably hundreds of people were killed, and all the destruction that was within Avengers: Age of Ultron is again another result of this whole Sokovia.
Avengers: Age of Ultron is what set up this movie. Yeah. Period. Like that was the whole purpose of that movie. Now I'm feeling was to set up Civil War, because before that there was no justification for why you'd need government oversight, because everything the Avengers had done before, even in their individual movies, was warranted.
It's just the next step. One movie leads to another is what it is. Exactly.
Right.
So let's just go ahead and get into some of my notes that I have here. The big one that you were talking about, when Tony and Cap were fighting, says, "I could do this all day." Of course, referring back to Captain America, the first Avenger, and the fact that it referenced that was phenomenal. That was probably my favorite. Even when we were watching the trailer a few minutes ago, I still love that line. I was like, yes, that was great. One of my favorites. The big thing that people are talking about is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I thought he didn't look that great.
So
looks like really CG and kind of thrown in last second to me.
So he was actually one of my disappointments in this trailer. I love the trailer, of course, but this is one of two disappointments I had in the trailer. One of two things I didn't like about it. Yeah, it looked like he wasn't done as far as the CG. Because in the other Spider-Man movies, his costume is kind of textured or layered, like the webbing is on top of like the costume or whatever, and I like that as well. So I'm hoping they just have more work to do on it. And then I saw a meme a little afterwards that said, wait, Justin Bieber is Spider-Man? Because he sounds, like that Justin Bieber voice.
He sounds like Spider-Man.
It's Tom Holland, but yeah, the voice I can see is like, yeah, they just kind of sound like Justin Bieber. But it's not. It's Tom Holland. I get it. But I think I personally didn't need that in the trailer. But then again, to the general audience who don't know that Spider-Man is going to be in the MCU, I could see why they put him in there for a couple seconds.
It definitely served its purpose. I just felt like it wasn't very well done.
I think for someone who didn't know that he was going to be in the movie, if a little kid who's a Spider-Man fan sees that and be like, oh my god, it's Spider-Man! That just gets that kid more excited to go see that movie, or, get his parents to drag him to go see the movie, of course, in that instance. But overall, I didn't need it. It was okay, for instance. Touching on, of course, what you talked about with Scarlet Witch and Vision, that was a big thing for me, because when I heard that Vision was going to be on Tony's side, I was like, well, Vision has an Infinity Stone in his forehead. He could literally take down any one of them just using his pinky. Because you don't have Hulk, you don't have Thor. Hulk and Thor are the other two big guns in the MCU. They're not going to be in this one. They're going to be in the third Thor film, Thor Ragnarok, which I'm glad they don't have them in this film, because I think it seems like the battle of the teams are going to be a little more balanced that way, except for Vision. And I was like, well, who on Cap's team could take down Vision? Well, Scarlet Witch has the potential to, but she's still so fresh in the universe, so fresh in her powers. I don't think she's going to be able to tap enough power to take down Vision. Then we see the shot of her creating this force field around Vision, making him kneel down. And I'm like, wow, because they say she's been doing some training with Cap. Maybe she's stepped up her game a little bit. In which case, I think that's going to be very interesting because, of course, in the comics, those who don't know, Scarlet Witch and Vision actually get married. And that's when they had that scene in Avengers: Age of Ultron when Vision flies in and saves her, kind of hinting at their potential relationship. So I can see this being another step in their potential relationship as well.
Her trying to incapacitate him?
Well, them fighting each other, I think it'd be really cool. And then, again, with the Scarlet Witch, the other part of her that I really liked in the trailer was at the beginning they were talking about, DC and Sokovia, and Cap's looking over at Wanda, and she's got this worried look on her face, like she's uncomfortable or something. So I imagine when they're talking about Sokovia, they might bring up her brother, Quicksilver, and, she's still probably in mourning as well about it. And Cap sees his teammate, and he's like, okay, that's enough. Done talking about it. Let's move on. I like that from more Cap perspective of, looking after his friends and his teammates, especially being the leader of the team as well. I liked it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's see. Moving on down my list, the Ant-Man and Hawkeye thing. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see actually Paul Rudd in the trailer. Like
just him.
we know it's Ant-Man.
How much can they put in the trailer?
They can't.
Good lordy.
I get it. I totally get it. And you want to keep the focus, of course, on Cap and Tony and stuff like that. So that I get. But when they showed the Hawkeye Ant-Man thing, everyone was looking forward to that because it's been on the promo pitch where Hawkeye's standing with his bow drawn and Ant-Man's on the end of one of the arrows. And that's a classic thing they do in the comics, actually. They've done that several times where Hawkeye shoots Ant-Man, and Ant-Man goes and, fights or whatever. And that was pretty classic. So I'm glad they're going to have that in the film. Just kind of another nod to the comic books, kind of the classic stuff. So that was awesome, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that bit.
The other thing, like I said, there are two things I really didn't like about the trailer. The line after Tony smacks Cap and he's like, "You just started a war." It just seems so generic. I mean, it's called Civil War.
Surely
you don't need to say, "You just started a war."
It's got to be something. I'm sure when we see the context, it won't sound so...
I'm sure in the context it won't sound bad, but for me it's just like, whatever, So the big question, especially with this trailer as well, is Rhodey going to die?
I mean, I feel like it would be super lame if they put it in the trailer and he does. Like, that seems like a pretty ridiculous spoiler.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, you get the feeling that somebody is going to die.
Yeah, but I
get it. But it's like one of those things where like they try to hide those spoilers from you. And in this one, say Rhodey does die, they put it right in the center. They're like, wait a minute, it can't be that obvious, can it?
Yeah, that's what I
mean.
mean.
They're messing with us, I think. They're totally messing with us. They're like, oh, we're going to put this in the trailer so you think that he's not going to die. But really, he is going to die. So you'll still be surprised about it when it actually happens. I can see him being an expendable character, though.
I mean, it's kind of sad. I like Rhodey. He was really funny.
I like him too, but if you really want to get Tony pissed off, I mean,
but why do you want to get Tony pissed off? He seems to already be mad.
He's not mad. Well, I think he's mad in the trailer because this is all after the Rhodey thing happens.
I don't know.
That's my assumption because that's kind of what it is too with Cap as well. Yeah, Cap is not for the government regulating what they're doing because, again, in the comic books, the whole thing, Cap was against the Registration Act because he didn't want the government telling them who the bad guys were. Because, just like in Captain America, Winter Soldier, he just went through where he was working for S.H.I.E.L.D., which turned out was the bad guy. So he was really working for Hydra. So he doesn't want that scenario to happen. So I can see that perspective. But the other side of it is that he's actually trying to protect his friend, Bucky. Because in that first trailer they showed, it looked like the government was after Bucky and Cap was trying to protect him. And that was a main plot point in the film as well, too.
Yeah, but on the flip side, too, if Rhodey is dead, I don't see why that would be, like, making Tony madder at Cap, because I don't think that Cap would take that lightly, Rhodey dying.
He wouldn't. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine that Cap would be like, oh, sucks to be you.
I was like,
I'm
Tony, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tony.
I think he would take that very seriously. I think he would feel a tremendous amount of pain.
Yeah.
Especially if Rhodey was dead as a result of something.
Oh, he totally would.
So that's why I don't think that the anger that stems from Tony against Cap has to do with Rhodey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make any, because I don't think that Captain I think would be totally like sympathetic.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's one of the good things about it. They keep us guessing. Moving on, my next thing is Scarlet Witch. Or not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow. I always say that. I mean Scarlett Johansson, and I usually say Scarlet Witch. I've done that several times on this show where I'm trying to talk about one or the other, and I'm saying the wrong thing. So Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson. I was very surprised in the promotional pitch for this film when she was siding with Tony and not Cap. Because given what the two of them went through in Winter Soldier, I felt like they developed that bond, that trust, and that she would definitely be on Cap's side. Well, then when the Russo brothers had an interview talking about each character picking their sides, they said how Black Widow picks Tony's side mainly because of her distrust for Winter Soldier, which I totally get. She's doing this because she doesn't trust Winter Soldier because of his past, but also she doesn't trust him because he is a loose cannon and he's kind of Captain America's blind spot. She feels that Cap isn't quite seen straight when it comes to Winter Soldier because of his past with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. The only thing about that is if you think about Black Widow's past.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she basically was Winter Soldier to Russia.
But she was never brainwashed and
No.
memory wiped. And
I agree.
brainwashed
I'm not
again.
saying that, but I'm just saying in terms of being a bad guy for the establishment, like...
Pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different, though. Like I said, Winter Soldier is a different thing, you know? Like I said, he was brainwashed. He didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I mean, I
memory
totally
wiped.
agree. I'm just saying.
He's just not...
I'm just saying it's a little bit hypocritical.
His bag of marbles isn't quite full, is what she's saying. So she doesn't trust him. But then in this trailer, we see that scene between her and Tony where she's like, I'm not the one that needs to watch their back. So just like in the comics, I think we're going to have characters that are going to flip sides. And I think Black Widow is going to flip sides to Cap's side.
By the end.
By the end. So in that respect, who do you think is going to flip from Cap to Tony?
I'm not really sure who's on Cap's side.
On Cap's side, you got Tim, Bucky, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, and Falcon.
I can't see any of them switching.
Yeah, I mean, maybe...
I think that Cap's just going to earn a new member to his side. I can't see any of them. Even Ant-Man. I mean, he's a freaking ex-con. I can't see him flipping over to the establishment.
Yeah, but he's trying to go straight, really.
Yeah,
so
but
he's trying to be a
still.
good guy. I don't know.
I don't know. He's probably the best bet, but I don't think any of them.
Could be. We'll see. All right, so moving on. That little thing in the water that the helicopter was flying towards, I think that's their superhero prison. Or their metahuman prison. Because in the comics, they had a place where they specially designed to take all the superheroes to hold them. Because you can't put them in a regular prison, obviously, when you capture them. So I think that where Tony was standing, you saw like kind of like jail cells in there as well. I think that's where they're going to hold all these superpowered beings that don't want to fall in line. That's my thought. And it's in the middle of the ocean, so guess what? Even if they get out of their cell, where are they going to go? That's my train of thought on that.
Good theory, I guess.
Okay. Moving on to a character that was supposed to be a dominant role in this film, Black Panther. We see him several times in this.
Freaking chasing down a motorcycle.
That was going to be one of my one things, but if you got down to right now, that kind of gives you an idea of what his powers are like.
What are his powers?
So,
I mean, I know he's getting his own movie, and it's kind of a big deal. Who's playing him?
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, that's right.
He's the guy who played Jackie Brown and Jackie Robinson in 42.
Yeah, I remember when they were doing all the casting.
Yeah.
So what exactly... Because all I think I know about him is that when they talk about every once in a while the vibranium, it comes from where he's from, and that he's getting his own movie, and that he just chased down a freaking motorcycle.
Your daughter has this book in her room called the Marvel Encyclopedia, and she's read it more than you. And in there is a whole page about Black Panther.
She doesn't actually read anything.
She points out the characters, and then I tell her about the characters, and so she knows. I keep laughing at Josh. I'm like, my daughter knows more superheroes than you at this point, man. You know?
She's 3.
She's 3, exactly. And she knows, because she wants to read that, or look through that Marvel Encyclopedia all the time.
She asks me every day to make her Captain America girl costume.
Exactly. And just wait till Easter when she gets her Captain America shield, right? I'm curious. We got her for Easter. It's a little Captain America shield that comes with the wrist piece. And
That's
the wrist,
magnetic.
Yeah, it's magnetic. And wasn't in the movies Cap had like the magnetic thing for his shield too?
And on his back.
Yeah,
he has the thing on his back. Too.
Exactly. So hey, it's going to be even more cooler than mine. I might steal this, honestly. Because the magnetic thing just makes it that much cooler.
So what you're saying is I need to ask her about Black Panther.
Yes, exactly. Ask her about Black. I pointed her out to her before. But anyway, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, movies that are coming out that you don't know quite that much about. Even I don't know a lot about them, but I get the general idea of them. You can go to that book, just ask Nora if you can borrow it, and you can learn about these characters. But going back to Black Panther, he is the king of Wakanda, where their main resource is vibranium, and of course, being it the most durable metal in the world, everyone wants it, and that has made Wakanda kind of rich. And they're also kind of very technology-based because of all their riches that they get. So it's a very powerful country, and T'Challa, in this point in the MCU, is actually the prince. The king is not dead yet, which I think will happen in the Black Panther movie. His dad is going to be played by none other than Ernie Hudson.
Really?
From Ghostbusters, who played Winston. Ha! I got it right. Ha! Take that last week. So,
no one has any idea what we're talking about.
Well, people who actually listen to the show will know.
Okay.
Like you and My mother, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe Teresa.
Maybe Teresa. Teresa only listens when you're on the show. I don't think she listens when it's Josh, honestly. Thanks for the support, T. Appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, so because of that too, the King of Wakanda also is the mantle of the Black Panther, protector of Wakanda, superhuman abilities, so to speak. And, he's like Panther powers, I guess you could say, He's fast, he's strong, all that stuff. And I like the trailer that it shows off how good he is. Running down Bucky on the motorcycle, and when they're shooting at him and kind of bullets are bouncing off him a little bit. So it kind of shows off his abilities. And there's another shot as well, I noticed, when that building is exploding. There's a brief shot of a guy on the floor, and that's Chadwick Boseman, actually. So I'm thinking what happens is, this is just speculation, that someone frames Bucky for blowing up the Wakanda, what's it called when it's consulate, yes. That's what I'm thinking happens, at least, and that's just a guess in my part. But there was that shot where we saw T'Challa in there, so maybe that's what happens. So the last thing I have in my notes here is a shot that we actually saw originally in the Super Bowl spot, and then we saw it again in this trailer, was Tony takes out his watch and breaks out into a repulsor glove and stops Bucky from shooting him. And when he shoots him, Tony's got this totally surprised look on his face. It's almost like, oh my God, this is real. We're not just playing around here. He's actually trying to kill me with this gun.
Do you think that's what was happening though? It almost looked like, I don't know. I didn't take it as that Bucky was trying to kill him. It seemed to me like Bucky had a gun. He was trying to do something, and that Tony was trying to stop him, and the gun went off.
Went off in his face.
Where still made it real, in that he could die as a result of trying to control Bucky.
Quite
maybe
possibly.
Bucky kind of went off about something. It didn't. I didn't. Maybe it is, but I didn't take it as he was trying to kill Tony.
Yeah.
But that Tony could very well have died as a result of trying to stop Bucky from maybe killing someone else.
Kind of, and I think it's
which goes along with Tony's stance.
Again, another one of those moments where I feel like Bucky or Winter Soldier is going to play a big part, where Tony or Black Widow or whoever sees Bucky as a wild card and thinks he needs to be locked away or whatever, while Cap is trying to stand by his friend and show him that he's reformed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. That's all my notes I got.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah.
Great?
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah.
Great. Needless to say, super excited for the film. This is my number one film on Winter Z. Coming in 2016, this was my favorite film. I loved Captain America Winter Soldier, my favorite comic book movie. Absolutely loved it. The Russo brothers did a great job. Captain America being my favorite Avenger. I'm just super excited for this film. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I'm definitely more excited to see this than Batman v Superman.
Yes.
And that comes out in a week. So I'm more anxious to see Batman v Superman because I don't know what I'm going to walk into.
I know. I'm nervous.
With Captain America Civil War, I know I'm going to walk in having a good time.
Yeah.
That'll be that.
I'm not excited for Batman v Superman, so...
All right, cool. All right, well, let's move on to some other topics. We got a few other things to discuss here. So, speaking with the Sunday Times, Tom Hiddleston, Loki himself, has said that he has some interest in actually playing James Bond in the possible future. He said, quote, "I'm a huge fan of the series. We all went to see Spectre when we were shooting Skull Island in Hawaii. I simply love the themes, the tropes, and the mythology. I love the whole thing. If it ever came knocking, it would be an extraordinary opportunity, and I'm very aware of the physicality of the job. I would not take it lightly."
I think he'd be an awesome Bond.
I never thought about it until he said it, but yeah, I mean, people are saying they want Idris Elba to play James Bond.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. Too.
But yeah, I think Hiddleston's got that swagger to him. They could totally pull it off. I think he needs to bulk up, maybe.
I think Tom Hiddleston can do whatever he wants.
Oh yes,
I'm on board.
He's a good actor.
He's awesome.
I'm very anxious to see his Hank Williams movie that comes out next month too.
He can't really do wrong. He's amazing.
He's a great actor. Yeah. I'm very curious too if he's going to be in the next Thor movie because they haven't said he's going to be in the next Thor yet.
I know. I don't know how they could do a Thor movie without him. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. But yeah, so him playing James Bond, I could totally see it.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Craig, rumored, is in talks that he's going to be done with James Bond, so he might have to move on. How old is Tom Hiddleston? Do you know?
He's like maybe a little older than me, maybe early 40s.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, the physicality. He's talking about the physicality of the job, of course.
He seems like he's in pretty damn good shape.
Well, that too, of course. So, but either way, as far as his acting abilities, I can totally see it. He's got that smoothness to him that James Bond would definitely qualify for. But moving on here, we're going to talk about Ron Perlman, who had an interview with Variety. They were talking about his new Amazon series, Hand of God, and they got talking about Hellboy and a possible third film.
Oh, he's younger than me.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
His birthday is the day after Mimi's.
Okay.
So he's a year younger than me.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, physicality wouldn't be an issue then. Getting back to it, Ron Perlman talking about Hellboy 3. He said, quote, "Probably will never happen, though you never say never." Now, this kind of changes his tone a little bit as to what he said last year in August when he said, quote, "I feel like we're obligated to finish the story. That's it. End of conversation." Guillermo even knows what the third film will look like. As he told him, it will resolve the trilogy in broad strokes, and it's such an amazing theatrical cinematic idea that I found it essential that we need to do it. Now, this is, of course, what he's talking about last year. Now he's singing a different tune. Of course, Lisa 1, do you want to see Hellboy 3? Which I'm sure that's going to be a yes.
I mean, I really liked Hellboy 1. I liked Hellboy 2 okay.
Yeah, I think I like Hellboy 1 better.
But it's been a long time.
I looked it up too. 2008 was when Hellboy 2: The Golden Army came out.
That's ridiculous to release the third part. What? It'll probably end up being 10 years later? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. I like their films. Of course, Guillermo del Toro directed them, great filmmaker. He's got a lot on his plate right now, too. Plus, the Hellboy movies weren't that profitable as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. They really did.
I think if they were bigger successes, they would have had moved a little quicker. Plus, now we have Ron Perlman, who is getting up there. So the physicality of the role now comes into play.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think... Excuse me. Yeah, got a burp there. I don't think it is either. I'd love to see it. If anything, I just want to know what the story was. In that instance, like a lot of stuff that I want to see more of, I want to know from the creator or the mind behind it, what would they do differently. Especially if it's something like this where it was meant to be a trilogy. You could tell from the end of Hellboy 2, it was meant to be a trilogy. They just never got to make the third film. And I just want to know where they continue with. I recently actually read some Hellboy comics, which I never read Hellboy before. So I sat down and read like 5 or 6 graphic novels. And it's a good story. It's not the best, but it's a good mythology. So I'm interested to see if they could expand on that a little more. That'd be awesome. That's all I'm saying. So.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next up, this actually dropped last Tuesday as well, just as the show was over. But J.K. Simmons, best known for his role as J. Jonah Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, is said to be playing Commissioner Jim Gordon in the upcoming Justice League movie directed by Zack Snyder, part of the whole DC cinematic universe. Now, this is all coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Gordon, in the comics, works closely with Batman and uses the bat signal to summon him whenever Gotham is in trouble. And in recent comic books written by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, Gordon himself even donned the cape and cowl. Technically, it was more of a robot suit, actually. But he was Batman for a little while. Thank God, I think that's over. J.K. Simmons, of course, is an Oscar-winning actor. He won last year for his supporting role in Whiplash. He's also been in the film Juno, which was awesome.
I forgot he was in that until we were talking. Yeah, I know. I mean, like earlier this week when all the J.K. Simmons chatter was going on, there was something on the internet and it had a picture of him from that movie, and I'd totally forgotten that him and Allison Janney were in that. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Right.
But
great movie.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
But he's great.
Yeah. So Simmons, you think he's going to be good Jim Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I can't really speak to the DC Cinematic Universe until I've seen Batman v Superman. Yeah. We've discussed many a time, neither one of us was a very huge fan of Man of Steel. And right now, that's all we have to go on.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really hard to speculate how he's going to fit into a cinematic universe we don't understand yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in general, I can't get excited about Justice League or any DC movie until we see Batman v Superman.
I mean, sure, the trailers look meh. Suicide Squad trailers look pretty good. Like I'm actually a little more excited for Suicide Squad than I am for Batman v Superman. I just, not that I think it's going to be better. I don't know. That's the thing. I just don't know. And so, like, the more they keep throwing out, how do you feel about so and so for this role or for that role? Like, I don't know. Like when most of the characters in this movie, and I don't know how I feel about them in that role. And the movie's going to be out in a week. Like, so I don't know. I have no opinion until I've seen Batman v Superman, and then we can readdress it.
Okay.
Plus, we don't really know, too, in the Batman solo movies or in Justice League or whatever. Well, I guess we know Justice League is going to be after, but there have been some talks that the Batman solo movies are going to be, like, prequels, kind of. So, I don't know. I have faith in Affleck. I do have faith in him.
Yeah.
And so if he's going to be taking a greater role in writing and directing as opposed to Snyder, then I'm a little more on board with that.
Yeah.
Because I have not really liked anything that Zack Snyder has done.
I gotcha.
He's not my style. His movies are not my style.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing why I didn't want him to direct a Superman movie
because I feel like
based on his previous work.
I agree. I feel like it's a style that caters to a certain group of people, like you.
I always said for Snyder, he would be a good Batman director, but his style would not work with Superman.
Not for the whole cinematic universe.
No, it's the whole cinematic universe either. I don't think it works.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that dark, gritty tone, which I think would be good for Batman. I didn't think it was going to work for Superman, and in my opinion, it did not, although many people have different other opinions on that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's split. Man of Steel, I know people who like it or don't like it. It's like half and half.
Well, and
almost.
I don't hate it. There were bits of it I did not like. Overall, I liked it all right. I liked Henry Cavill. I liked Amy Adams. I liked how I feel about Russell Crowe, so man. But as a whole, I didn't hate the movie. I wouldn't mind seeing it a few more times, except you hate the movie. I just don't love it.
Maybe you can watch my own personal edit of it and see if you like it better.
Yeah, I didn't love it. You think about it with the Marvel movies, those are great movies. Like, I mean, there's been a few of them that have been kind of meh, like,
Not the best, but still
good movies. Overall, though, I love the Marvel movies. Each one of them is fun in a different way, too, Like, I loved Ant-Man. It was fun. It was totally different than any of the other ones, but it was fun. I love Thor. I love Iron Man. But I just, I don't know. I'm so nervous about this DC universe.
So getting back to J.K. Simmons.
I know.
I'm on two sides of this because Simmons, of course, Oscar-winning great actor. I've loved everything he's done. But when I look at the role of Jim Gordon, it's a role I feel like he hasn't played yet. And it's such a specific part. Like Gary Oldman, I just finished the the Dark Knight trilogy. Gary Oldman, I felt, was so tailored for that role because of his looks and his acting abilities. But Simmons, I think he can do it.
I don't know. Gary Oldman makes everything his own, though. Like, no matter what you put him in, he makes it seem like it was tailor-made for him.
When I picture Jim Gordon, really, that's kind of... He nailed it as far as what I pictured, like, his personality and style and everything. With J.K. Simmons, I know he has the acting ability to do whatever he wants. I just haven't seen him play a Jim Gordon type yet, at least to me. I know he was in that cop show, The Closer, which I never saw, so maybe he was that kind of cop in that show. I don't know. But, like I said, I've never seen him in the role. I can't see him pulling off that type of character, but he's a good actor, so I believe he can. So I'm on two sides of that. But we'll just have to wait and see on November 7th, 2017. Right?
Sure.
Okay. That's not that far away. That's,
year and a half.
Year and a half. Well, because they're supposed to start filming Justice League next month, too. So, yeah. It'll be popped out. All right. So, moving on. Something very rarely we talk about on this show is some Doctor Who news. Lisa, being the three of us that are on the show, the only one who actually watches Doctor Who.
And I don't really watch it anymore because I don't have time.
Okay.
I don't watch much of anything
Okay,
anymore.
well then you might not be able to comment too much on this story.
I do hear about it fairly frequently, though, from my mother.
I know. I should just give your mom like a tape recorder. So
you
she
should
can
have her guest star sometime.
But then she's
go on a tangent about Doctor Who.
She's going to talk about it forever then, okay? I just need a little soundbite.
She loves Doctor Who.
I know she does. So, anyway,
she loves Capaldi. She loves Moffat. She, loves Moffat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she would, totally, faint if she ever met him.
Yeah. Kind of like me with Joss Whedon?
Kind of, yes.
Okay. All right, so they said that Stephen Moffat is actually leaving the show.
Yeah. The Whovians are very upset about that.
Yes, exactly. Although they're also talking about how the current Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi, might be leaving as well. Although he's going to possibly stay out a little longer.
Well, I think he had said he was going to leave, and then now that Moffat is leaving, they're trying to get him to stay on to kind of bridge into the new person.
So, because the new guy is Chris Chibnall, who is, a Doctor Who veteran. So a lot of people are excited about that. So it was announced in January, Moffat's 12-episode final season will be broadcast on 2017 with only a Christmas special airing this year. And then Chibnall will then take the reins in 2018. Now Capaldi was, of course, the last Doctor, the 12th Doctor, which was cast back in 2013 following Matt Smith. So, how do you think the show's going to do without Moffat?
I don't know. I think I'm not worried about if Capaldi leaves. I mean, because that's the whole point of the show.
Have you seen any of Capaldi's yet, or
just a couple?
Oh.
I mean, I like him all right. I like Matt Smith. He was my favorite.
I heard it starts off slow, but then gets a little better.
And I've never been a really big fan of Clara, the companion, but she, spoiler, is no longer with them. She is deceased.
Okay, I think anyone who cares about Doctor Who would know that by now, so it's okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't think it would be a big deal Capaldi leaving. I think it's a big deal that Moffat's leaving. I mean, because Moffat, he writes Sherlock too. Like, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I am a little worried about what him leaving the show is going to do for the show. But if he and Capaldi leave at the same time, then I think, and with Clara being gone too, it's almost like
totally fresh.
Yeah. So that could be good, I guess.
Could be bad.
But it could be really, really bad. So I kind of get them trying to keep Capaldi on for another season to try to, like, at least it's a familiar Doctor while the show is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen.
Okay, cool. Oh, I have nothing to add, so let's just move on from there, okay? So going up next, the 25th anniversary MTV Movie Awards nominees have just been announced. Did you ever watch the MTV Movie Awards?
I don't even know why they do this crap show anymore.
When I was a kid, I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, I used to watch it when I was a kid, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And for the kids of today, that's why they do it. Because guess what? The kids, when I was little, I never watched any of the Oscar movies.
Well, they have, like, Kids' Choice Awards, though, and People's Choice Awards.
Exactly, because they have an award show for everyone, and this is the teenage, version.
Which is why, like, Twilight, like, cleaned up every time.
Yeah. Anyway, so they announced some of the nominees. So the top nominees this year with 11 nominations was Star Wars: The Force Awakens, followed by Deadpool with 8 nods, Avengers: Age of Ultron got 6, and then Mad Max Fury Road, Pitch Perfect 2, The Revenant, and Trainwreck all had 4 nominations. So nominated for Best Film of the Year is The Force Awakens, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Creed, Deadpool, Jurassic World, and Straight Outta Compton. All of them pretty good films. So if you had to pick a winner from those nominees, which one would you pick?
I don't know, it's kind of hard.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's the reason I put this in there because this falls in our category of geekdom,
Well, it's hard though because those are also different movies. Like I mean, I really liked Trainwreck. I thought that movie was very, very well done.
That's not on the name.
Oh, it's not? I thought you just said Trainwreck.
No, I said, so Trainwreck got 4 nominations.
Oh, okay. So I didn't see Creed.
So movie of the year, you had Force Awakens, Age of Ultron,
right?
Creed.
I didn't see Creed.
Deadpool,
Jurassic World,
and Straight Outta Compton.
And I didn't see Straight Outta Compton.
So you didn't see 2 of those.
But
that's fine.
I know that everyone has been raving about Straight Outta Compton. So Deadpool was awesome.
Jurassic World,
I really liked and Jurassic World was fun. I'm not trying to say it was a better quality movie. It has
flaws, but it was entertaining.
But it was a great movie. It was very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. And we all know we loved Force Awakens.
Yes.
So, like, I mean, how do you judge
So between Age of Ultron, Force Awakens, Deadpool, and Jurassic World, the ones you have seen.
I don't know what I would pick as my favorite. I liked all 4 of them a lot in different ways.
Go from the hip. Go straight. Go give it. First thought.
Go. Probably say The Force Awakens then.
Okay. See, there we go. You get a straight answer for that. Out of mine, I don't know which one. I mean, as far as the best film, I
think teenagers are going to pick Deadpool.
Yeah, probably Deadpool. Force Awakens probably pretty. I mean, they're all pretty big. I think the least likely to win would be Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I feel like, even though it was a big success. Jurassic World, Age of Ultron, I could see being not so much. I think it's going to be between Force Awakens and Deadpool. I think, like, for me, I'd pick Creed because as a film, I thought Creed was the best overall film.
Yeah, but that's not how these people are picking.
That's exactly. I'm older.
Well, I think of those, Creed was probably the one that was most likely, like most high quality.
Like people are saying it should have got Oscar nominations besides Stallone's Best Supporting Actor. But back in the day, I probably would have loved this list. But I'm older, a little wiser now. my taste is a little more refined. Even though I still love all these movies, I appreciate all the Oscar movies as well too. But in that instance,
I mean, I'd rather watch these than I think any of the ones that were nominated for Best Oscar.
Clearly, you did not see Room.
Well, I know.
You couldn't watch Room. You can handle Room.
Agreed. I still would rather probably watch any of these.
You can handle dinosaurs.
In an average day.
You can't handle drama. So sticking with a Force Awakens-esque story, Daisy Ridley, who is the star of Star Wars The Force Awakens, she got her start really in Star Wars The Force Awakens. And kind of a no-name out of nowhere, and she came out to lead this big blockbuster film, and I think she did really good. So because of that now, doors are opening for her, and one of the doors that is opening is negotiations to star in the next Tomb Raider film. Tomb Raider, of course, being based on the popular video game, and Deadline is reporting that Ridley is actually in early talks to possibly star in a Tomb Raider reboot from Warner Brothers and MGM. Roar Utah. See, I knew I was going to butcher that when I tried to say it. Anyway, he's directing it. He directed The Wave, which I have no idea what that movie is. But he's set to direct the film. The two previous Lara Croft movies done, Angelina Jolie played Lara Croft. One was 2001's Lara Croft the Tomb Raider. The other was 2003's Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. I don't think I even made it through entirely Cradle of Life. I saw the first one. Second one, I don't think I really liked too much.
I never saw either.
Anyway,
I'm not a big fan of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, nor Angelina Jolie.
But you know what Tomb Raider is about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see Daisy Ridley playing that type of character?
I can, but I hope she doesn't do this.
Why?
Like, it just seems to me... Like, I think she is the kind of caliber actress that could do big things.
But we don't know what kind of caliber she is. We've only seen her in one movie.
I know that. But I don't think that this should be the direction she goes right out of Star Wars. I think she should try to do something that demonstrates her acting chops a little
something
bit.
More independent, smaller kind of stuff?
Maybe something like that that's going to show her range a little bit more than her going from a Star Wars movie where she's running around and fighting, to a movie where she's wearing not a lot of clothes, running around and fighting. Like... I just don't think it's the right move. I would not choose this route for her. I think she should wait for another. She's gonna get other options. I don't think that this big action movie that do people even play this freaking game anymore?
Yeah, they just rebooted the franchise back in 2013. I think they've got 2 games out now.
I don't know. I just don't.
I don't play video games, so I don't know how well it did.
I just don't think it's the way for her to go. I think that she should go do something maybe a little more low budget, a little more like an indie film, and kind of get a name for herself that way in showing what she is actually capable of. That's what I would do if I were her.
I could see her. I think she'd be good at it. Whether she should do it or not, that's the questionable part, I guess. I can see her doing the role based on what I've seen from her from The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's real hard to do this kind of role.
Well, it is, especially if you're, leading this kind of franchise as well, too. It's going to be interesting to see. Of course, she's just in early talks. Chances are I doubt it'll happen. And if it does, if she is cast in this role, though, you agree she'll be good at it.
Yeah, I think she'd be real good at it. That's my whole point. I think that she'd be really, really good at a lot of things. If I were her agent, if you're her agent and you're listening, discourage her from doing this. I'm
sure her agent listens to this show.
I'm just saying.
Please, okay? I can barely get you to listen to this show when you're not on here, okay?
Anyway.
All right, so last story of the day in regards to Halle Berry is in talks with 20th Century Fox to join the Kingsman sequel. Mm-hmm. Said she is in talks to become a character that is the head of the CIA. This all coming from Deadline. She's in negotiations for a 2-picture deal, actually. Now, Halle Berry, of course, being no stranger to the comic book film genre, she stars as Storm.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about Catwoman.
I was just about to mention that she was She was Storm in the X-Men franchise, and she played Selena Kyle in the Catwoman movie. Now, this is coming after another female is said to have joined the cast. Julianne Moore is set to play the villain in Kingsman 2. The first Kingsman film was based off the Secret Service graphic novel written by Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons. The comic does not have a sequel, so this sequel will be kind of an open canvas as far as story-wise. The first Kingsman film made $414 million worldwide off an $81 million budget. Director Matthew Vaughn is set to return, as well as star Taron Egerton, and they are said to start filming this summer. Halle Berry, she's touch and go with me. Yeah, she's got an Oscar on her mantle. I get it.
I don't think it's her quality of acting, though. I think she picks some really bad movies.
Did you listen to Collider Movie Talk the other day when they were talking about this?
No.
About how she really phones it in a lot of times. She's a good actress.
Well, I think she phones it in when she knows it's a crap movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think she's ever phoned it in a movie that's been a high quality movie that had a good script or a good cast. When she's surrounded by good people and she's in a movie that has a good script, To
be fair, you can't really say that because she was horrible in the X-Men movies.
I don't think she was that bad. I think she was trying.
The first film, she had that horrible accent. And then the second film, she kind of half-assed it. And then in the third film, they're like, yeah, it's not working. Just drop it.
I think they should have just told her from the beginning to forget the accent. I think she did all right.
Halle Berry as Storm is one of my least favorite casting roles for comic book films.
But I don't think that she phoned it in. I think she was trying to pull something off that didn't work.
Anyway, and then of course there's Catwoman, which was a huge disaster.
Didn't she actually go and accept her Razzie for that? She was like one of the only people
first person to ever accept her Razzie Award. Which is because that's the thing too, because that was the year she won Best Actress for Monster Ball and won Worst Actress for Catwoman.
Yeah.
So you gotta give her props for having that sense of humor.
Yeah, I think Halle Berry is a good actress.
I think she can be good
when it's something that she really wants to do,
which is very rare.
Right.
In that instance, a lot of times
I don't think it's very rare. I think she does a lot of good movies too.
Because when I think about Halle Berry films, the roles she's in, there's not a lot where I'm just like, oh yeah, she did a really good job. I really have said that.
She was a good Bond girl.
You're gonna bring up that movie, really?
I'm just saying.
That was a horrible Bond film.
That was a horrible Bond film.
I think it killed. That was the last one before they rebooted with Daniel Craig.
But
so
I'm more excited about Julianne Moore as the villain.
Oh, of course, Julianne Moore
is awesome.
Julianne Moore is top notch. I mean, if I took Julianne Moore over Halle Berry in any way, shape, or form, I'd go Julianne Moore.
I don't know. Halle Berry's pretty hot though.
She is very hot, but Julianne Moore just does it for me more, I think.
Oh, she's awesome. Julianne Moore's an amazing actress.
Well, that too, yes.
Whatever.
Anyway. All right, guys. So that's it. That's all we got for today. You have any questions, comments, want to talk about the weather? Well, go to the Weather Channel for that. But anything else, hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. You can also visit us on social media. We got a Facebook group, which is pretty active. And then, of course, we're on Twitter as well. So look us up there. You can look me up personally on social media under Slim, SLYM Dayspring 12. I'm also on Instagram too. And if you have any questions, comments, we love to hear from you guys. See what you're saying. We'll interact as much as we can. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep.
You positive?
Yep.
You want me to sing the Captain America song?
No.
Well,
no.
Captain America.
Bye everyone. Thanks for
his
coming.
mighty
How do I stop
shield.
this?